So, real quick, just to catch up what's going on this week. Michael Cohen testified.
Yo, I never seen a white guy.
He
sing like he paddled a bell on another. Yo, that was. But hey, you facing a stack of calendars.
You ain't never seen a guy?
Nah, not like that.
He sang.
He
straight up was like, I'm not gonna say they didn't do it, but they did it.
I thought he was a missing man with the Temptations, bro. No, that motherfucker was singing. Man, he was singing, bro.
Oh man,
it's epic.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Nothing.
On to the next.
Because honestly, he said a lot of things that everybody knew to be true, but just didn't hear anecdotally, and he said it.
All right.
Next.
Do you think if he has proof,
nothing's gonna happen? Nixon. Let's
that is terrible. You know that, right?
Because let's remind ourselves. Clinton got impeached.
Yeah,
but he
ain't go to jail.
He didn't leave. Nixon also resigned before he got impeached. Yeah, so nobody has actually gotten impeached properly.
They can't lose, brother. You guys ain't seen a Woody Allen movie in probably years, but if you want to get a movie today and get the deal he's looking for,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's canceled.
I'm just saying, glad you brought that up.
I'm just making a point. We think he's canceled. He ain't canceled.
You want to talk about that?
We're about to talk about
he ain't going nowhere.
Fire.
I don't too much care for him at all. I'm just making a point.
Monique,
he can literally go get the bag he's looking for.
I think if it's white women he's trying to talk to, he's canceled.
Maybe.
Maybe. So that brings us to the next topic.
What's the next topic, bro?
There's obviously, if you know what's going on in pop culture, you got Surviving R. Kelly documentary that dropped a little while ago. There is, obviously, if you've been following the news, Bill Cosby got sentenced. 3
years, right?
I don't know exactly what he got.
That's all he got. I think he can do 3 years, but it was 10. But he has to do 3 off the road. Michael Jackson documentaries drop on HBO. I guess just putting it out there. Throw it out there, brother.
Do you feel like? Do you think 2 questions? One, do you think black men and white men are tried evenly?
Hell no! Are you kidding me?
In terms of like
fuck no.
Doing the same crime. Black monsters. Oh, that was heavy. Damn, this is
about to get real heavy.
Don't piss me off, y'all. You know I'll tell all y'all off in a second.
Go ahead, yo.
I guess my question is
we
this.
Love that. JJ, we love
speaking for myself, I don't think we're promoting anybody who's done something illegal. It's like, yo, you should be tried in the court of law, blah, blah, blah. I 100% agree with that. But do you feel like media is pushing this Michael Jackson documentary, Surviving R. Kelly documentary? And I think we touched on this on another pod. There's plenty of other men, not even just Caucasian white men. There's plenty of other men that's doing some fucked up shit.
Yeah. Even in our pain, we still come out on top, weirdly enough, right? We still bring those numbers in. We get those metrics.
R. Kelly's,
we get the metrics regardless of our shit. Whether we're being like godlike or fucking outright evil. We get the metric. We get the metrics. Get the metric.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Get the metric.
Yeah.
We do. We get the metric, man. We get those CPMs. We get those clicks. We get all of that shit. Even in our pain or our disgrace, we get it all.
You need to like make that into some sort of graphic.
I do. You're right.
I feel like you need to like put CPMs in it. Anyway.
Yo, but we do. So
like that's an AD original.
Hey, I take that and give it to the coach, right? But I mean, even with the R. Kelly thing, 6, and we talked about this on a pod before this, right? Like 6 episodes of shit that not just us, but the world knew that he was fucked up. This is nothing new. He got tape. He got tape. Like, he got multiple tapes.
Yeah,
now it's a new tape that's saying the same shit for 20 years ago. 20 plus years ago. Beyond the tapes, right? Even when he married, fucking Aaliyah, like, we knew he was fucked up, right? But people from the community took a blind eye. The music industry took a blind eye because he made money. He wrote all the songs for those different artists.
In the name of
he
love.
made money.
Trapped in the closet.
Shit, fuck the black shit. All that shit he did for everybody else.
I Believe I Could Fly.
Shit, all that shit he did for
my 6th grade
B2K.
graduation.
The shit did for Lady Gaga.
He wrote a lot of songs for
other people, right? So he made a lot of money for the music industry.
Think about B2K. Think about the audience at the time for B2K and all them songs are going to.
Yeah, that's kids.
Deep. I was 11 years old.
Yeah. Pop Piper shit. He had a DJ named Wayne Williams. If you're from Atlanta, say Wayne Williams and see what response you get.
Yeah.
Because that's about the Atlanta child murders. But that's a whole nother part. But what I'm saying is the world.
He had a DJ named Wayne.
Yes, from the Step in the Name of Love. He said DJ Wayne Williams, whatever, right?
Don Juan and them.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Don Juan. If you listen to the full Step in the Name of Love one, and you listen to is it the outro?
Here it goes. Here it goes.
He shouts out everyone. He goes Don Juan and them.
All of them.
He shouted out every single motherfucking accomplice that he had.
Yes.
In his little rape series that he was in
how about
as the
this?
Pied Piper.
This just came up. He has an album called The Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka and the fucking chocolate.
And that's when he started calling himself the Pied Piper.
Yes.
And all of us just sat there and was like,
no, all of y'all. I've been stopped fucking with him.
I've been stopped fucking with him.
I'm sorry.
And on the last pod, I said I could live without R. Kelly's music.
Been stopped fucking with R. Kelly a long time ago, 20 years ago. I've been stopped fucking with him.
But best believe I had the Chocolate Factory.
So for me, he's been canceled. In my opinion, in my personal world, right? But that don't mean nothing. The culture still supporting him. Hollywood, the music industry is supporting him, right?
Yeah, because he's making the money.
And that's the point I'm talking about. Like, we're talking about all these monsters, right? Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, supposedly what's going on with Michael Jackson, maybe. I mean, even though that documentary that's coming out is only telling the perspective on one side. Before you start doing that, get your evidence.
I don't know none of them.
Because somebody says this in a documentaries can be biases, especially if you only interview on one side. Ask the question.
The point being, like, we're not trying to humanize any of the people who
they are human. Humans make
know.
mistakes. That's what they do. They fuck up. They become monsters, or they just become motherfuckers getting a ticket, jaywalk. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
They one or the other. Whatever, right? But the question you are asking is that is black individuals, specifically these black guys, been treated the same as their white counterparts? Right. And I'm going to say pretty much no.
Absolutely
not.
I mean,
absolutely not.
I think you can see that with the new. I mean, it happened in the 90s, but Ava DuVernay has a documentary of Central Park 5.
13. The Central Park 5 coming out.
She has that one. Yeah.
And it's just like
the intro. Yeah, you saw that promo video?
Yeah,
that shit was dope. They did that very well.
If you look at in hindsight, when you look back at it with Senor Trump taking out an ad, $1 million ad saying, "Hey, we gotta bring back the what do you say? Bring back the death penalty."
Yeah, he said that. He one of those guys get the death penalty.
It's just like I'm not saying rape is okay. I'm just saying like
he wanted them to die.
To bring those men
Liam Neeson wanted to knock you motherfuckers in the face for supposedly raping a white woman.
Fuck Liam Neeson. Fuck him too.
But that's the point. But it goes back to the argument.
He could have really.
I mean, but you're completely right. Like looking at history, look, Elvis Presley. Presley was with that German girl that was like 14 years old, 15 years old, brought her here. And to this day, he still gets biopics and all kinds of accolades.
And the R. Kelly documentary opened up on that.
Jimmy something, the Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
That guy. He freaking married his cousin that was 13 years old. They made
Woody Allen married his
movie about it on Lifetime.
Stepdaughter.
And homie's music he still has his Rock Hall of Fame accolades. So while I do agree that they do definitely make black men out to be super predators, at the same time I feel as though the communities around these people have let them slide.
Of course.
And as black people who are already down and who are already dealing with enough scorn,
downtrodden.
When we hear a bad thing happening of our own, we immediately just have to react as if
you do.
No, you need to get out the way because you screwing up this progress that we've been doing.
But you know what it really boils down to?
So we've also been very harsh. So Dream Hampton is the woman that produced the Surviving R. Kelly documentary.
Where did the funding come from?
Dream Hampton. So Dream Hampton has apparently been working in the background, in the back scenes with all these other people to put this together. She also was working with Taranda Burke from Me Too to gather all this evidence and do all these things. She put together the documentary. Got to deal with Viacom, and they were able to put out Viacom and whoever, and were able to put it out on Lifetime.
Keyword.
She got to deal with Lifetime. The Lifetime deal was the last minute deal because initially they were only going to air it on BET.
Really?
And it wasn't up until the last 3 weeks when Lifetime decided, no, this should be a fully syndicated thing because Lifetime saw the metrics.
There you go.
Of hashtag Mute R. Kelly. Lifetime saw the Mute R. Kelly metrics and was like, oh, nah, this needs to be, we need everybody to see this.
Proves my point.
But the thing about it is I admire women like Dream Hampton because I'm like, I understand the risk that it takes to come out against your abusers and for people to possibly look at you and say like you lying or say like you're not doing something. But at the same time,
can we tell the complete story?
I also feel like the timing of it, it's perfect, but it also was not perfect because it's like, as black people, it's like, this is the last thing we need to come against us right now. We trying to fight against this orange apparition in the office right now.
Timing is everything. I'm glad you brought that up.
Enemies coming up, so other enemies coming up. So it's a double-edged sword. But
JJ, you're different. You are a person in this game who understands context, understands timing and media, and how all of those things drive engagement.
And at the end of the day, that is all these companies
want.
They care. They don't care whether it affects us and we sit here.
They don't care about R. Kelly really going to jail. No. They just care about the metric.
No. And they don't care about the fact that we're going to sit here and talk about how we're upset about it. They care about the fact that it brought money in.
So it's like
let's just stick to the topic we're talking about.
No, yeah, absolutely.
How is it that all these black predators and monsters is being covered while the Weinsteins of the world walking free?
But we know why, though.
Well, we do.
Like, do we even need to ask that question?
We do.
We know why.
Why?
We do.
We know why. Because black men have always been feared to the extreme amounts because black men were bred to be fearful. So just quick background. I was in New Orleans last week with my homegirls, and we went to the Whitney Plantation. If you guys go to New Orleans, highly suggest everybody to go visit the Whitney Plantation.
I'm gonna go with my mom.
It's one of the few plantation tours that focuses on the actual slaves and focuses on children. And I don't know if y'all all saw Django, but in Django there was the Candyland farm. I like Django, but the Candyland plantation specifically had a goal of just like there were plantations that were specifically all about breeding bucks.
Yeah.
So black men that were specifically black men
for
who,
breeding
when
purposes.
They took them, they came from the Mandingo tribe.
Yes.
And so the idea of Mandingos is not just about big dicks. Mandinga. It's not just about big dicks. It's about like you generally having a warrior like large, broad stature. You were a stallion. You were strong.
Yeah, like
a
horse.
And so when they took them from there, they were like, how can we get more of these people? And so they were breeding Mandingo and Mandingo-like black men. And they talked about all of this stuff on the tour. And since then, that already ingrained, this is 400 plus years ago we talking, that already ingrained this idea in people that black men in general, whether they were fit or not, were meant to be feared.
Yes.
We're meant to be these destroyers. You want to know the modern day iteration of that? What? The army.
Yeah.
Militia.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're building destroyers. We worked on that account, the Marine Corps.
That's true.
Hello?
Very true.
Building destroyers. And so you've already ingrained in these people that there is a certain type of person that should be feared by look. It just so happens that their look might also have black skin. And so, to me, like that's the reason why. That's the reason why it's being tried. It's no question. So now, instead, the question is like, what do we do about it? How can we not so much protect these black, because we don't want to be protecting. We don't want to be protecting the criminals, but we do need to make sure that we are talking to our young black men and women about what about the perceptions that are going to be placed upon them.
That's the thing I want to talk about.
And how they need to operate in society. And it's inclusive of not encouraging toxic masculinity, both in not just males, but also LGBT, because the stuff also exists in the LGBT community.
It does. We spoke
That's
about
a whole
that
other topic.
internally.
And so there's toxic masculinity, not encouraging that. There's not encouraging this idea of you needing to always be this strong figure. You can cry, you can be vulnerable, you can say what it is that you need to say, you can feel how it is that you need to feel, and if you know that something deeply inherently is wrong with you, you need to bring it up to people. Therapy is okay.
It is
Seeing
okay.
a psychologist is okay. If you need to be on Lexapro, it's okay, because it's okay for everybody else around you, because we don't want to deal with your outbreaks. You know what I mean? Like, these are the type of things that we need to have, but as a community, it's taboo, because we were built to think that those things are not okay, because we needed to be these strong workers that they built us to be.
So I like the perception thing you talked about, right? Because that's the part I want to have a deeper conversation about. Because yes, every community has its predator. But it seems that other communities have a better. Let me rephrase this. They do a good job at protecting that perception.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we got predators, but we're not gonna let the world talk about them, because we're not gonna talk about them.
And because we don't see them as being predators. This is normal, because the same plantation owners that were breeding bucks and killing those bucks when they fucked their wives or whatever were the same ones that were also marrying their wives at 13.
That's true.
Perception. Like, this shit just goes. I'm getting deep in this, but
it's complex.
But it's true.
It's very complex.
But this is where it goes back. And so,
does.
when we talk about, we need to really break down the generational trauma that we have all inherited from our ancestors, whether they were slaves in the United States or not. We have all inherited this same, as Black people, the same generational trauma. And we need to do the work. We need to do the work to really break it down.
So let's go back to perception. Do you really? So if we talk about perception, or the sense of being endearing and empathetic, are the Lifetimes and Viacons doing this because they truly care, or should they care, or this is purely a business move?
It's a business move. It's a business move. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I agree.
I've been in conversations where people are saying, "Hey, this hashtag is really pulling up. Should we add it to our keyword list?"
Yeah, we talk
Should we
about
add
that.
Mute R. Kelly to our keyword list?
So-
It's trending on
Look,
Twitter right now.
I'm so glad that JJ
Should we put $50,000 behind this keyword because it's trending?
I feel like I'm all what you guys are saying, right? And going back to Tony's original question, right? Like, the question is, do you think Black men and white men are tried equally?
No,
right?
they're not.
They're not.
So to me, I'm gonna say no, but at the same time, to you, it's a real question. To you, is fairness and equality the same thing? They're not the same thing.
No,
they're not.
Fairness and equality is not the same thing. What's fair and what's equal, right? Like, we all work in this industry. We all know that, like, there's media outlets who have access to big dollars that are, like, at the end of the day, you know what? It's not working in our favor, right? So why would they even be interested in caring about, like, what we think about? No, I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, that's not their bottom line.
But I think the one of the important point that JJ brought up to the topic of whether there are black monsters and if black men are tried equally to white men. I think when you take it out of the court system and put it on a marketing standpoint and what are we going to promote, I think you brought up a great point, is that there are industries and there are agencies that look at what's trending and what's pushing, and they look at the metrics and they say, all right, regardless of what's fair to what you just brought up, what's gonna sell. And I think you brought that point up, and it's just like, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm guilty of it. We're kind of guilty of it. We were all kind of talking about the R. Kelly thing, regardless of how you feel about it. It's just like that kind of push and that move. And I think personally, just kind of move this topic on. I think that's what HBO is hoping is going to happen with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but
and that, like, regardless of whose point of view you're telling, they saw what happened with the R. Kelly shit and how that jumped off on social media, and I think they're hoping or expecting that same thing.
I absolutely get that, but I feel like what we're talking about is frequency, right? Like we're talking about these frequency of stories, right? So like we continue to hear about R. Kelly this, R. Kelly that, or Bill Cosby this, Bill Cosby that. I don't know no white person that either I work with or who I do know are talking about R. Kelly. You know where it's coming from? It's coming from here.
Nah, there was a couple of white people on my job.
Okay, so that's a population. That's a sample of a population, right? I'm not gonna say that that's not true, but at the end of the day, it's like what's real is like these media outlets. Like let's talk about the media outlets. The dedicated black media outlets are perpetuating these stories as well. So if you're talking about the Shade Room or like BT.com, it's like okay,
Baller alert.
Ball alert. It's like, yes.
Need a takeout.
So let's talk about that, right? So, you already know what type of time I'm on. You already know I'm talking about type of time I'm on. So, like, if the media outlets are perpetuating it, and it's like, you know why? Because we all want to hear a good story. If you think about it. We talking about R. Kelly. You know why? It's like, we talked about Harvey Weinstein, and we talk about all these other people, but R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, we're talking about talents.
Yeah.
People who are at the end of the day, they're more recognizable versus a person who's behind the scene. I don't give if I seen Harvey Weinstein, I probably wouldn't know who this man is. And at the end of the day, if we're talking about like brand safety shit, to JJ's point, I work in digital advertising, bro. Yeah. We send out keyword lists, negative keyword lists all the time. R. Kelly has not been a part of any of those negative keyword lists. And for me, for general market,
he's making money.
Because he's making money, he's trending.
That
hashtag is trending on Twitter.
Yes, that hashtag is trending on Twitter, but at the same time, that hashtag has not to the business that you work on has not come up as a threat to your business.
You wouldn't expect that business or media be next to him overall from an editorial point of view.
Exactly. Right. So it's like if it's not coming up in the URL thread and it's saying like, oh, we got a keyword block R. Kelly. So when it comes to me, making me think that it's mostly black people talking about this, right? So,
but it's weird because black people knew he was a predator all this time. We did. Yeah. Come on. The tape's been out forever.
And Dreamhampton, and that's why I love the Survivor. I didn't watch the full thing. I watched
all 6.
I stopped after the first 4 because I was just like,
I have not watched one episode.
She did acknowledge the fact she had Amanda Seales and all them people there or whoever talking about the fact that like, yeah, we all remember when he was on that show with Aaliyah and thinking there wasn't something right with it.
And they still people still listen to his music.
And we all thought it was interesting that he called himself the Pied Piper of R&B. And we just sat there and like did nothing because music.
Because monsters are.
But go ahead, Tony.
They're persuasive.
Tony.
I was just
they
gonna
got
say,
character.
I think it's just because. I mean, just to kind of wrap it all up into one thing. To me, I think it's just. It sounds like it's a lot. It sounds like, to what Rose said and what JJ said. It sounds profitable to talk about a popular person who has done these horrendous crimes, such as R. Kelly, because he's in the forefront, and these websites like Shade Room, etc., talk about him versus Harvey Weinstein. You could probably make a documentary about it.
Yeah, of course.
More likely be true, but will it sell?
We have to look to the black dedicated properties and all these media outlets to use number one, influence, research, and storytelling to at the same energy that the country is bringing towards R. Kelly to bring in them same people that we're talking about. Ed Buck, he's a political investor and a businessman who they found 2 dead black men, gay black men in his house. And we're not hearing about that story. Like Shade Room need to talk about that time every day, 3 times a day.
They'll never talk about that story because you know how many of these white men that are CEOs and owners of all these Fortune 500 companies that got freaking black people's body parts in preservative jars in their back room closet where their grandpa had it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But all I'm saying to wrap it up.
I take it there.
Jesus.
I take it there.
To combat,
I love that.
Actual factuals. JJ with the actual factuals.
To combat against the R. Kellys in the world, because the conversation for me, I was hearing, why is it so much rooted to R. Kelly? Why is it rooted to Bill Cosby? Like, yo, like, let's take some of that power and those words and put it back out there to say, like, yo, let's not forget about Ed Buck.
Word.
All right. I like that. I like that. Let's not forget about Ed Buck.
No soft talk, man.
All right.
I love it.
No soft talk.
Never.
Don't give up at the end of the day, don't give up the metric. Because that's what we're doing. Right. Black pain sells. Don't.
I was going to end it on him.
Black pain sells.
Black
joy, it sells, but black pain really sells.
Right.